What is this? Ale and bread but no meat? What kind of a dwarven establishment is this, where you have beer and bread but no meat?
Be good.
There's got to be some kind of explanation for this. What kind of place would not have meat? Here, let me talk to the cook.
How are ya?
I see a lot of young dwarves at my door eager to learn the trade of cooking, and if there is one thing a cook needs more than anything, it's a cleaver. I have a list of students who scored high in their lessons and earned an honorary cleaver. Take my list to Golnir, Bouldertoe, in Ironforge. He'll get the cleavers ready. The fastest way to Ironforge is on a griffin, so bring the list to our griffin master, Brolin Galebeard, and speak with him about transport to Ironforge.
Safe travels. Hello.
What an appropriate name for a dwarf, Thunderbrew. Nothing my tavern patrons enjoy more than some beer-basted boar ribs. Oh, there we go. There's the meat I was looking for. Problem is, the local trapper who used to bring me supplies enlisted in the King's army to help with the war on the Alliance front. Maybe you can help me out? If you bring me some boar ribs and a Rhapsody malt from the tavern here, I'll give you the family recipe for my famous beer-basted boar ribs, not to mention a free sample. The secret's in the malt. So yeah, we get the recipe when we get our cooking up to 10 for beer-basted boar ribs, which I'm sure my bear here would love.
You got my attention.
Barley brew. Notice a common theme amongst a lot of the names here amongst the dwarves. I'm on the quest to make the perfect stout. I know that I can do it. Brewing is in my blood. I just need to find the right recipe. The Frostmane trolls grow a plant, shimmerweed, up on the Shimmer Ridge to the northwest. They use it in their strange tribal rituals. We haven't found much use for it, but it has a unique taste, and I want to experiment with it in my brews. Obtaining the shimmerweed will be dangerous, but I'll pay well for any that you can borrow from the baskets in the troll village.
Off with you.
Speaking of brew, got myself a few helpings of Stormhammer Stout. Oh, that hits the spot right there. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh, everything's looking a little dizzy now. Oh, let's get a move on. Oh. I need to shake this off. What kind of a dwarf am I if I can't hold me liquor? Can't hold me brew. Let's see if we can capture this conversation here. We can't keep up the operation much longer. Delbar and his team must launch their attack from Steel Gutters Depot as soon as possible. And this is Razzle. This is Covert Operative. Apparently doesn't have a name. Although it looks like the name here is Razzle Spry Sprocket. With an ample supply of gyromechanic gears and a team of engineers, your tanks can make a full recovery. But it's going to be a long journey. Poor troll plow. At least the old gal went out doing something that she loved.
Delbert and his men are working overtime. Captain, he has devised a means of delivering an assault team to the rear flank of the battle. We've also secured air support for the operation and will be ready to deploy soon. If any of your men want to join the assault team, just send them to Delbert.
Pull yourself together, Stone. You're a steam tank pilot for light's sake. Glad to hear it. I'll send Delbert any force I can spare. Yes, everything will be fine. Wonderful. In fact, she'll be better than ever.
In fact, I'll go see about those gears right now.
There, see? Old troll plows be better in no time. Before you know it, you'll be bragging about outgunning me again. Come on, let's get you another ale. There's no substitute for live observers, but I need those mountaineers here. We'll have to rely on those little gnomish observer bots for now. The Cataclysm has thrown the balance of power in Dun Morrow into question, Papaneeks. Without warning, a wave of trogs emerged from the caves near Nomragon and overran the Frostmane trolls. The trolls have been migrating east ever since. There's always been a Frostmane presence up on Shimmer Ridge to the northwest, but with the migration, the trolls now surround us. We can't allow the trolls to use this position to their advantage, while my men hold the line in the east, strike against Shimmer Ridge. Before we take care of that, though, let's go ahead and do this, and I'll get to show you
Talk to me.
Iron Forge. Ah, you had to get us to Ironforge? Well, for a small fee, I can put you on the back of one of me griffins and I'll take you there. How does that sound? For just a few coins, one of me griffins will take you to Ironforge. From there, deliver Grimlock's list to Golnir or Bouldertoe. You'll find him in the Deep Mountain Mining Guild. That's in the Great Forge district of Ironforge, which is right where my griffin will drop you off.
Watch your back.
All
On
right.
your mind. Be good.
To Ironforge. Now, one of the things I love about Ironforge, look at the entrance here. Those are the gates of Ironforge. This is built into a mountain. Yeah. Dunmuro, Cosmodon, yeah. So I also should mention the positioning here. So you'll notice Dunmuro is up here, whereas Stormwind City and Elwyn are down here. Also the Wetlands, the Twilight Highlands, the Arathi Highlands, the Hinterlands, and, you know, over here is the Badlands, the Burning Steppes. This is kind of important in regards to the territory for the various different dwarven groups and factions. So I mentioned the three main factions for the dwarves, which are the... Oh, gosh. Hold on a second. Gotta leave the chats. There we go. Just getting out there before anything else comes out. By the way, right here at the Flame Master, this is where you can get the stuff for the gnomes and the dwarves. This is the Ironforge Quartermaster, where you can get the tabard if you want. I've got my mounts set up ready to go. Of course, we won't be able to do that until level 20, but anyways. So, there's the Bronzebeards, the Wildhammers, and the Dark Iron Doors. Pooh, what are you doing? You are not a flying bear. Anyways, I mention that because, you know, the Bronzebeards are, you know, mainly in this area here. And then the Dark Irons have mainly been in the Searing Gorge, Badlands, the Burning Steppes, this area, especially because this is where Blackrock Mountain is. And then you move up here to these areas such as the Wetlands, the Twilight Highlands, Arathi Highlands, and the Hinterlands. This is Wildhammer territory. Now, I believe it was, I think I looked up his name, it was Kurdrin Wildhammer, if I recall. It has to do with, you know, that object I mentioned. So the name of the guy I was forgetting, Kurdrin Wildhammer, was the one who broke the piece of the object that Moira was going to use for her political ploy, but he saw through what she was doing, and he destroyed his piece, talking about how an object should not be what we rely our unity on. We should, because we're dwarves, we're better than that. And Myrddin was behind his action. He was like, yeah! And he broke his, and then Moira had to destroy hers, otherwise she would have been, well, kind of like the one left out of that, and therefore her political ploy was basically ruined at that point, so... Anyways.
Great to meet you.
Soon after that, Kurdrin took, you know, passed on his leadership of the Wildhammers to Falstad, so... Ah, the latest list of Grimlock's best pupils. I have a batch of honorary cleavers ready to go. I just need to engrave the names of the students. Here are the honorary cleavers for Grimlock students. If you've already been to Karnos, then you should fly a griffin back there. Take the cleavers to a griffin master, and then speak with him about the ride back.
Travels.
I mention this because of the Wildhammers. Because the thing is, the Wildhammers have a very close connection with griffins. This is part of the reason why Falstad, if you've ever wondered, why is it that Falstad always rides a griffin in that game and is never off his mount? It's because Wildhammer dwarves, you know, they don't see their griffins as pets or mounts. They're partners. Like, they're, you know, companions, you know. Like, there's a bond there. You know, it's like this, you know, like, for example, you know, I'm a hunter. The bond that I'm supposed to have with my bear here is that he's not just my pet. He's like, my partner. Like, we're gonna be, we have each other's backs through thick and the thin. It's that kind of like, friendship in that regard.
Great to
It's like, it's kind of hard to describe it other than, I guess I could, use the example of, say,
See you
Ash
soon.
and Pikachu and Pokemon,
What can
or
I
just,
do?
something along those lines. You guys probably know what I'm trying to get at here, so. Level 10. Gonna get rid of that, because that's all here in the pet utility area, which is now dismiss pet. And now we've got kill command to try and somewhat control our pet here. So now we've got our specs here. Beast Mastery, in case we want to emphasize our pets. In fact, once we get to level 15, we can get the talent to have a second active pet out, though we can't really control it. But, we get to have 2 pets instead of just 1. And then there's Marksman, the archery spec, basically. In fact, you can have a talent where you don't have a pet at all, because then it increases your archery damage by like 25%. This is actually something I'm experimenting with a night elf, because of course I am. And then there's survival, the melee spec, which I kind of messed around with. It was kind of fun, but I don't know, it was just not quite what I was hoping for. Maybe if I had gotten up higher in level, it probably would have been better, but it's very easy to see why a lot of people generally use either Beastmaster or Marksman. And let me tell you guys something. I've seen some really strong Beastmaster hunters in late game stuff, so it's quite common for that kind of thing to happen. So got to get some ribs, and we got to purchase some malt. In fact, I think I gotta go here, and I can just purchase some malt. Like, excuse me, I'd like to purchase some Rhapsody malt.
What's on your mind?
Ah, there we are.
See you soon.
There we go. I got your cleavers.
Aye.
Ah, you brought the cleavers. Great. I'll get these to my students. I'm sure that they're eager to use them on some fresh boar meat. Thank you for your help. I'm in your debt, but I hope that this money will at least cover your travel costs.
Off with you.
Fine, I'll take it. And hey, I can control my pet now. I have the commands here now. So I can either have him attack, or I can have him defend me. So, he has a few abilities here. He has a 3-minute cooldown here called Survival of the Fittest. Reduces all damage that you and your pet take by 20% per 6 seconds. By the way, you'll notice here, when it comes to hunters, there are actually 3 different types you can use, which gives you a different bonus. A bear is considered a tank pet, so he's labeled in the Tenacity one, which is stalwart and veteran defenders who questionably place their thick hides and protective exteriors in harm's way for their allies. This is why he then gives me the buff Endurance Training, which is that me and my pet gain 5% increased maximum health, and the Survival of the Fist one. You can get Ferocity, which is a DPS pet, but more so he gives the two of you get 10% leech health on your attacks, which is really nice. And you can also get level 65 Primal Rage, which is another version of Heroism, or Bloodlust, or Time Warp. So, that's nice to have. And then there's Cunning, which gives you Pathfinding. You and your pet gain 8% increased movement speed. You can also get Master's Call. Your pet removes all roots and movement pairing effects and a friendly target, and grants immunity to all such effects for 4 seconds. So yeah, you can do some cool stuff depending on what type of pet you get. And if you want to try and figure out what type of pet you can get that can get you those kinds of bonuses, there are ways to be able to look that up and figure that out. There's also an ability you can get later on, I think it's called Beast Lore, which you can use on various different types of animals in the wild to have it tell you what type of animal they are and what buff that you'll get from taming them. We just don't have the ability to tame anything else just yet. Alright, so I need to find some boars. If I want to get some boar meat, some boar ribs, I'm gonna have to find some boars. I wonder where they could be. Ah, well. I'll eventually find them. Oh, hello there.
Great to meet you.
I was supposed to be bringing these casks of ale to the inn in Karnos that contain the mysterious new ale produced by an upstart brewery based in Brunal village. As I was leaving town, I was attacked by a frostmane troll, raiding the raiding party. It's gonna take me days to repair the wagon. I don't suppose you'd be willing to do me a favor, will you? These big kegs aren't going anywhere, but I have some smaller sample casks. Would you bring them to Karnos for me? Just follow the road to the southeast.
Keep your
All
feet
right.
around.
This is where gnome players exit, so that's supposed to be one of those first quests where it's like, hey, can you go to this inn? Start looking around for boars. Ah. Let's head up here to the ridge. We'll eventually find some boars. In the meantime, let's go find some trolls. I think there's a road over here. Ah, here's a boar. Go get it, boy. He also has a few others. He's got Claw. Claw the enemy, dealing 31 damage, deals 100% more damage, and costs 100% more focus when your pet has 50 or more focus. He has Growl, which is a taunt, which is great for him taking the brunt of the damage and me staying out of the way. And he has Dash, which can increase his movement speed by 80% for 10 seconds. And I can have all that on autocast, which is really nice, so I don't have to micromanage it myself. I can just let the bear take care of it. Just Pooh can handle it himself. He's got this. Oh, Shimmery Basket. Oh, there's a dwarven paladin here. So I actually re-looked it up in regards to the trolls. I had actually forgotten about another tribe of trolls to list off and trying to figure out which group these trolls would have been a part of. The ones I forgot about were the Drakari. The ones that we encounter in Northrend in Gundrak. Which I guess could probably be a good indication. The cold, the blue skin. Probably a bit of a giveaway there. But it would also make sense that they would be completely fine with this cold weather. I mean, after all, we all know how cold Northrend is, right? You know there are add-ons that people have gotten to give the guns that we can use to make them sound more authentic, just better sounding? A lot of people do not like the sound effects that the guns make in this game. They think they sound really bad.
I don't have a target.
Alright. Need to find 3 more seers. I wonder where the seers are. They probably got taken down by other players. There's a dwarven paladin I saw not too long ago. Ah, there's one. There's another. Alright, there's one more over here. Alright. Let's go back to hunting some boars. But there are boars here. Yeah, there are, but I don't see them marked for this, so I don't know if they would actually count. But I'll give it a try. Yeah, see, I can't even loot them. Good job, Pooh. Where are the boars? There's the, a couple of them are using their ram mounts. Oh, they have someone getting their, gnome mount. Huh. Okay. Another boar right over there. Alright. One more. Okay. Now to turn these in. We should be able to focus our efforts on the rest of the trolls to the east, but there's still the matter of the Wendigos in the Grizzled Den. The Wendigos. The Cataclysm has created chaos in Dunmorrow. The Trogs have come to the surface in numbers we haven't seen before, driving our traditional enemies, the Frostmane trolls, ever closer to our settlements. Ironforge has dispatched my mountaineer company to help deal with the problems. The Wendigos in the Grizzled Den to the southwest of the town have long been a thorn in our side. They're never quite strong enough to threaten Karnos directly, yet they prey on travelers, mountaineer patrols, and supply convoys. I'm going to be withdrawing my observers from the Grizzled Den because I need them on the troll front. Would you help my men finish culling the Wendigo population? Without strength of numbers, they won't be able to attack us. The Cataclysm drove the Trogs to the surface in hordes, forcing the Frostmane trolls to flee for their lives. Unfortunately, they've decided to settle right on our doorstep and make trouble for us. I deployed Mountaineer Dunstan and his squad to the Grizzled Den just southwest of town to keep an eye on the Wendigos that live there. But now I need to recall them to Karnos, find them and tell them to deploy those remote observation bots the gnomes provided, and then return to Karnos.
Well met.
With the Frostmanes making trouble to our east, the Wendigos have sensed our weakness and grown bolder in their raids. Only one of the four more recently supplied wagons has made it in here safely. The Wendigos made off with the rest, stashing it in the Grizzled Den. A cave southwest of town. If you're willing to go down there and recover the stolen supplies, you will have the gratitude of all the townspeople and the mountaineers defending Karnos.
See you soon.
See if I can catch this conversation that's happening here. Oh, this is the conversation from earlier. It was happening behind me. I didn't even realize it.
Well met.
Ah, the malt is brewed and the boars are dead. And before all is done and anything said, we will have the fight for first dibs on the savory, beer-basted boar ribs.
Be good.
You really wanted to make that rhyme, didn't you? So yeah. Can I still, So I don't have that yet, do I? No, I don't have the ability to feed my pet just yet. But I'll have that later.
How are you?
Great! I can't wait to use these in some of my recipes. There's one in particular that I think it'll work great in.
Off with you.
And there is Barbed Shot. Alright. Boop. There we go. Better boots.
I have the finest wires in the land.
Oh, these look promising. I've heard great things about the Short and Stout Brewery, but I haven't had the chance to try their ale until now. While you're here, relax a little. If you need a spare hearthstone or wish to make Karnos your home, just speak to me and I'll be happy to help.
Keep your feet on the ground.
I would imagine that when we got to when we got to Pandaria, that the dwarves and the Pandaren became instant friends the moment the dwarves tried the Pandaren brew. They must have tried to have been like, oh my goodness, this brew is amazing! And they became friends instantaneously as a result. That's just how I picture it happening. Like, they were just like, oh, this is amazing!
Be good.
Okay. Whoops. Wrong button. Wrong hotkey. Alright. We'll take care of these supplies. So there are things I could talk about in terms of the history and the culture of the dwarves, which did happen like a few hundred years before the events of Warcraft 1. I'm just sort of holding off on that, because I'm actually wanting to save talking about that for some other videos I'm wanting to do. I just realized I'm not going up here, I'm going down there into that cave. Actually, hold on a second. Is this the Mountaineer? No, because it's pointing below. Okay, so I have to go... That's right, the Mountaineers are in the cave. Alright. So who wants to go Wendigo hunting? I mean, I am a hunter, so I'm sure my guy's like going, great, let's go! But who else, like, when they think of Wendigos now, just cannot help but think of, there's one of my favorite little pets right there. Little snow cub. They can't help but think of that game Until Dawn. There's some Wendigos there. Let's head to the cave, because there'll be plenty inside for me to deal with. Like this one right here. Huh, it's a gnome monk. Go ahead. Oh, I guess he didn't want to tag it. Okay. I guess he's not really interested in that right now. Oh, never mind. I guess he was going to do that. I can't tell. Oh, we got a human hunter in here who's just hopping around in a circle.
What's on your mind?
He wants you to deploy to your remote observation bots and withdraw to Karanos.
Soon.
Tell Captain Taran that I'll be back in Karanos as soon as I verify that the bot is working correctly. There's another one right here.
How are you? Be good.
I can't wait to get out there and help in the fight against those trolls. Go this way, I think. These caves always get a little confusing in terms of where I need to go. I'm like, where do I go?
I'm out of range.
Great to meet you. Keep your feet on the ground.
We've been fighting non-stop since the cataclysm. It'll be nice to get a rest if a brief one. Alright, just a couple more Wendigos. I also remember there was this boss that I faced in a game I played a long time ago. It was an X-Men game where you mainly played as Wolverine. It was on the PS2, I believe. I forget what it was actually called. I just remembered that you played the entire game as Wolverine. He had some kind of poison. You had to find the antidote. You know, otherwise, you know, he was gonna die. You know, regardless of his healing factor, it was actually stronger than that. And one of the bosses you fought in that game was something called the Wendigo. Oh, hey, a gnome rogue. Huh. Go ahead and deal with him, Pooh. Good bear. Are these guys really just chilling here, just farming this place? Got this Wendigo chasing me and they're just like, eh.
What can I do for you?
Oh, well done. The Mountaineers will be glad to hear that half rations are at an end. They'll need all their strength to continue fighting the Frostmains.
Travels.
Oh, now that you've dealt with the Wendigos, we should be able to focus our efforts on the Frostmain trolls to the east. Thank you for your help. Our forces are deployed thinly these days, and 3 Mountaineers could be the difference between defending Cardinals and being overrun. Most of the Mountaineers and steam tanks in Dun Morogh are battling along the Frostmain front, which is approaching us in the southeast. We could barely hold the trolls back, let alone advance into their village and take on their leader. They've blocked our path of approach with mysterious totems that choke the Mountaineers who come in range, leaving the victims helpless against their enemies. This stone is inscribed with a rune of fire. It should be able to destroy the totems and free our Mountaineers. So I just got a number of abilities here. All of which are part of the utility thing I mentioned. Go ahead and, I'll keep this one right here. Give him some ribs. Here you go. Okay. So, we got Dismiss Pet. We got Beast Lore. This is what I was talking about. Gathers information about the target beast, displaying diet, abilities, specializations, whether or not the creature is tameable, and if it is exotic. So let's say, for example, I went over here and used it on one of the wolves over here. I know there were wolves like right over here. There's one. Lore revealed. Ferocity. Teamed abilities: Ferocious Bite, Bite, Dash, and Growl. Diet is meat. Now if I use it on Pooh here. Whoops. His diet is meat, fish, cheese, bread, fungus, and fruit. So, let's say I want to now tame this wolf. I can dismiss Pooh. And then... tame! Ta-da! And now this wolf is my second pet. Now, I can't have both of them out at the same time right now. Not yet. I can do that once we get to level 15. What could I call wolf here? Well, for now, I'm going to dismiss him. I'm going to get Pooh back out here. Good thing there's a stable master right here. And I can stable my wolf here.
See you soon.
There we go.
My, you're a tall one.
I should go back to Gnomragon and continue researching a cure for irradiated gnomes. But I stayed behind in Karanos because the town is my home, and I wanted to help defend it from the Frostbane attacks. I've been working on maintaining and repairing the steam tanks. For some reason, Frostbane scavengers have taken a liking to the gyromechanic gears that I need to complete for the repairs. They're all over the Frostbane front to the southeast of town. Will you help me get those gears back?
Alrighty then.
Alright. I guess we can help out with that. When we come back, stay tuned.